65 million damage.
65 million damage.
Yeah,
Wow.
it's ridiculous. It's long-winded how he does it, but using various.
Oh, I thought that was the name of the cantrip.
No.
It's long-winded.
Um,
I thought that's a new one on me. I haven't heard that.
gather together various skills, various classes.
Yeah, wow. So,
Definitely.
welcome back. And this is when I just like to provide a brief synopsis of what has happened up to this point. So if you haven't been following, and shame on you if you haven't, then you'll know roughly what has been happening. So basically, to sum it all up in a few sentences, the party some of the party got infected with what can only be called a fungal plague, which is actually a series of funguses that actually grow within your body and then sprout out from your skin, and then actually absorbs all your moisture from your body and infiltrates your brain and turns you into almost like husk zombies. Now, they actually brought this back unknowingly and infected a caravan and a village, and so they agreed, because they felt somewhat responsible, to head off and try to find the cure. They journeyed into the local forest and met up with Sister Hadriel, who used to be or knew of a group of clerics called the Sisterhood that lived high up in an abbey high up in the mountains. And Sister Hadriel also had a friendly minotaur that Bazooka befriended, and it was a very tearful moment when he had to leave Bruce behind and they went their separate ways. And let's just hope that when he gets back to Clarion that Bruce is still alive, Bazooka. He might have been infected by the fungal plague and might be dead. You will know. You will never know. So the party headed off, and Ereval has a magical compass that actually, and I didn't realise, last week when I gave you it and you were all saying, copyright. It was only until this week that somebody put Captain Jack Sparrow in the chat, because I haven't seen that film. I thought you were referring to the Golden Compass from the book by Philip Pullman. That's what I was just thinking, why are they saying copyright? It's not like that at all. So I see the connection. I see the connection now. So anyway, and so they headed up and they went up a mountain pass, and we're going to try to get through the next part without Flat or Julius making any jokes about this. So try hard.
I was going to say that you're just... your description of the fungal plague was almost like an ex-girlfriend of mine.
Okay. Anyway, they got attacked by some harpies and then ventured up and then came across an abbey, and they got into a riddle game with what a person called the caretaker, who delighted in eating highly dead and decaying rats. And then the guardians were summoned forth, and the party quite Tenariel, you were very close, I think, to dying in that battle.
Yes.
Yeah.
Left alone again.
Yeah, sorry, you were very close to dying again. But anyway, they managed to defeat the guardians, and then they actually managed to find the entrance down underneath the abbey to where the well is supposed to be located. Now, I'm just moving you guys across to it. Now, just remember, anybody who's watching this stream, please remember that what you are seeing at the moment is not what the players can see. If I demonstrate to you what they can see, this is what they can actually see. So everybody should be able to see their light operating. Rurik, you have something cast on something, I think.
Yeah, I have light cast on Can't remember what it is. I think it's my axe.
Yeah, it is. It's your axe.
Oh, yeah.
So that's actually on your axe at the present moment in time. I can see from the tokens that I think Bazooka and Ervol, you still have the aid spell up. Is that right?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, so that's, you still got your temporary hit points there. And apart from that, everybody, I'm not assuming that that's your marching order, by the way, guys. I just sort of like popped you on at the end of last adventure to sort of like bring you down to this point. So we will pick up the adventure from this point. I'm going to give you a brief description of the actual what you can see, and then we'll go on from there. So the first thing that you'll notice is that it almost like has this opal turquoise sort of like tinge everywhere. This and this is exactly what it looks like. The walls are quite marble-like. They're quite smooth, and they seem to be devoid of dust. The floor is devoid of dust. Everything seems to be quite in good condition. The walls seem to be crafted. They're not dug out of the walls. It looks like it's really sort of like marble, and you can touch them and they seem cold to the touch and perfectly smooth. There seems to be no ridges. There's nothing growing on it. It's as if this little area that you're stood in is quite sterile. There is here, you can notice this. This is just sort of like a partition. So there's two entrances on either side, and there doesn't look like there's been any doors there or anything. It just seems to be two gaps. So it's not as if the doors have rotted away or anything like that. It's exactly how you see it on the map. Okay, is there anything that you would like to ask me before you venture forth?
Can I
Is there any traps here?
Sorry.
Maybe.
Sorry, yeah, maybe. Sorry, Clout, yeah.
Can I make a masonry check?
Yes, by all
You
means.
see the...
Roll your history.
Did we all heal up last session? Because I've got 11
Yes.
hit points written down on this.
Yeah, we did, yeah.
Yeah.
My
You-
token says 19, but I had 11 written on my sheet.
Well, hang on. I'll just check because I can nip back to the previous. Yes, everybody healed up.
It's +4, so it's 10.
Excellent. Yeah, you're not too sure who made it, but one thing that you can say is that it's done very professionally. It's definitely a very good craftsperson who has made it, and it would appear that it's all been dug out and then this wall sort of like planted in it, so you can guess that behind it it'll be just the rough underground. The other thing that you have, if anybody's got Arcana, can you just roll it now for me, please?
Like, this seemed like out of the reach of a normal peer person.
Yeah, very, very much so. Does anybody else have Arcana apart from Rurik?
Not proficient in it, no.
All right, okay. Then. So, Rurik, the other thing that you notice is that there's almost like a hum of magic down here. It's not affecting anything, but there's definitely this hum or this pulse that this area.
It's like a vibration.
No, it's not. It's almost like, you know, when the hairs go up on the back of your neck, or you feel that there's probably magic involved in actually carving all this out. You don't think it's sort of like a workman that's actually chiseled it out or anything like that. You think it's probably created by magic, and there's still that hum in it. So it's almost like a glow, like an invisible glow, and any spellcaster can actually sort of like feel it. That it's definitely not the same as when you're up on the air. Of course, Ereval and Tenariel, you're not happy being down here because you're back in your unfamiliar sort of like domains. Yeah. Just to let you know.
Stay focused. There may be more guardians down here. We can do a deeper investigation when we know.
Yeah. Just to let you know, the area behind you is a double wide staircase that comes down from the font. Can you remember where you were before? And so it's a double wide staircase, so exactly the same width, and it just goes straight the way down. And you figure you're probably not directly underneath the abbey. You're probably off to one side of it at the present moment in time. Okay.
Go and check for traps. I'm falling down no more pits.
Can I remove my armor? Because I think armor gave you disadvantage at dodging traps.
You can remove your armor if you so desire. I presume you've got some kind of underclothes on underneath it. Otherwise, Tenariel, I suggest you avert your eyes. Unless you don't want to, of course. You can. You can have a. You've seen enough dwarves in your.
I have command clouds underneath, so.
I'll have a quick look at this doorway, then I'm going to step through.
Excellent.
We send in the Tin Man in ahead. He's the best trap finder.
I was I was going to think that because I go straight in afterwards.
So,
Leroy Jenkins.
So as you come out onto that corridor, what you can see now is that you can see two directions. Okay, just here, this appears to be a platform about height, head level, Tenariel. And you can see just here, I don't know if you can see it or not. Can you see it just there?
Yeah.
There seems to be like a sword tip just sort of like coming out from the top. The corridor seems to go in both directions. This gap here, Julius, is exactly the same. It's a gap. Assume that all the gaps are gaps unless I tell you otherwise. And you can see, I think you can actually see there's a set of stairs here. Mm-hmm. And I think, Julius, you can actually see that there's a set of stairs to the other side as well.
Yes.
Yeah.
I want to reach up as high as I can to see if I can see the rest of this sword. If I have to jump up and glance at it, I'll do that.
Yeah.
You want me to ease you up?
If I need it, yes.
Okay,
Otherwise,
so what you
I don't want to touch it. I just want to see.
Yeah, no, that's absolutely fine. What you can actually see up there appears to be a person, a human, in plate, lying face down on the platform, and it looks like they're like that. And they look like they were holding their sword in their hand, and that's the tip that you can see coming out over the...
a live person?
No. They don't appear to be moving, but the interesting thing is you can see they seem to have a plate mail helmet on, and they seem to have plate mail gauntlets on, and they're not moving, but there's also... Just roll a perception check, Tenariel.
Go on, touch a tip.
This is a good omen for Julius.
You suddenly
21.
There's an absence of the smell of decay or anything like that, and although it's very still, you don't think it doesn't smell as if it's dead.
There's nothing else up there, just this armored figure.
The only thing that you can see, and I'm just going to move you so you'll be able to see. So can you see what's beyond there now?
No, it's not showing.
Right, hang on then. I know you're not up there, so don't worry. Can you see now?
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah. So it's because you can't pass over that line because it's dynamic lighting. But I know you're not there.
Yeah.
But that's what you can see. So there seems to be rather a big circular room on the opposite side. So I'll move you back, and then you know.
Anything like the other underground temple that we were in with the doom, dread, and disaster and whatever.
There's no, as in on the floor, or
yeah, like with the statues that was
no, there's no statues at all, and the floor is exactly how it is in the floor plan. So if there is, just so you know, if there later on, if there is any markings on it, it's actually on it, so you'll be able to see it straight away.
Right.
When Julius
Any
and I finished,
architectural or design similarities?
Say again, sorry.
Yeah, that's
Is there
what I was
any
getting at.
architectural or design similarities?
No, completely different. The one underground was almost like white stonework. This is actually like blue marble, turquoisey blue marble, and it's interesting, Tenariel. Just as you walk up that end, the floor is just sort of like crystal clear. It looks like you can almost like see your reflection in it. It's not slippery or anything like that. But you would have
polished marble.
yeah. But the interesting thing is, you would have thought that there would have been some form of decay or some kind of dust or anything like that. But it's literally completely and utterly. It's almost like, I'm going to use a word. It's almost like it's sterile.
I vote we get the dwarf to lick it. just in case to see what it is.
You should try to piss on the floor. I think it will disappear.
Dilute it a little bit.
Those stairwell is exactly the same. It's exactly the same green marble or turquoise marble as everywhere else that you can see. So you're right next to the body at the moment.
Yep, I didn't know the body was there.
Yeah.
I'm going the same way as everyone else because I ain't falling down no more traps.
Yeah.
Let's examine this this corpse.
I'll never split the party.
Yeah, we might want to check like just slightly down the other way as well before we move into any big areas or anything like that.
Right, I've got the rear covered just in case.
Did you like the rear? Oh wait.
It might be better to put Arvol at the rear because that's quite a long corridor. I was just thinking if anything comes down it.
Well, that's why
Yeah.
I'm trying to stay where I've got the most visibility.
Yeah.
You can see up and down.
Yeah, because you can see quite a way down there. Yeah.
Is this back area raised at all?
Yeah, it is raised and it's like a little step up. It's like a little.
Step up here in case I have to shoot over it.
Yeah. It's just like a tiny little platform. It's just about that. It's like a little dais like that. You know,
So you can shoot over a bazooka anyway.
Yeah, you think it's almost as if Ervol, that there should have been a statue there. That's what you think. From your knowledge of abbeys and cathedrals and places of worship, it's almost like you would expected a statue to be there, but there's not, and there's no sign that there actually was one there at all. Yes, Tenariel, what would you like?
Sorry, yes. Examining this this body, does the shield have any kind of insignia on it?
It's you probably can see at just the top of it. It seems to be almost like
Looks like a Crusader cross.
yeah, it's almost like white enamel, almost as if it's not it's not shiny, but it's white enamel, and there is like a red Crusader cross on it.
Is it a recognizable fighting order? Or
You can roll. You can roll your religion. Erevar, what was your perception check for?
Sorry, when you were describing that area, I was thinking I was going to do it, but
Oh yeah.
kind of looking at that little dais area.
Can I?
Yeah.
Can I?
Hang on.
help him?
Yeah, of course you can. Yeah.
I fail miserably at the religion check.
No, because
can I-
Rorik will do his as well, which means that you roll yours as well, Rorik, which means that it will give you advantage on it because it'll be like a team test, Sprocketeer, so you get 14.
14.
Yeah, it looks as if it's a recognizable holy symbol. And it's well known throughout the land, this symbol. Even Julius, you recognize it as well as almost like some kind of paladin crusader cross, and it sort of like depicts the faithful, the avenging, the holy, and things like that. Just on your perception check, Vol, just where you're stood, where the statue should have been, it's totally and utterly smooth. It's totally and utterly blank. There's hasn't been something there that's been moved. It looks like there's never been anything there.
I would like to.
In this area that this temple is unfinished in any way.
Good question. It doesn't look like the walls are. It doesn't look like the walls are unfinished, but that little dais is really strange, and I think that's what you're picking up. It looks as if there should be something there. It almost looks as if the main structure of this has been finished, but the paraphernalia hasn't been put into it.
It was never built.
Yeah.
Okay, so right. Sorry about the dead body on the floor. Is it a dead body, or is it something that should have been used as a statue type thing?
It's definitely a
So there's
body.
like bones inside it.
Well, it's definitely a body, and all you can tell at the moment because it's face down and it has a helmet on. It's definitely something in plate armor. That's all you can actually tell at the moment. So it could be that it's just all decayed inside that plate armor. Okay, or it could be very similar to the ones that you found in the portal room. You know, it could be something that could animate itself, or it could be like you just suggested, Bazooka. It could be a like a statue in there. It could be solid stone, or it could even be something that's meant to be on a stand. You know,
Yeah,
and it's
that's what I was thinking, like an armor stand that's fell over or something.
Well, that's only
I would like. I would like to look at. I don't know what Mr. Roboto there. I would like to look at the. You said it was plate armor. Is plate armor is better than my current armor, isn't it? I have chainmail.
I thought you had plate.
No.
It's good chain.
Plate
No,
armor,
just chain.
it's out of his reach of money.
Yeah, pretty much. I was wondering if it was if it's in good condition for me to use it,
Well,
and also the shield as well.
From
it's
where
better than-
from where you are at the present moment in time, you can just see that it seems to be plate mail, and I mean it's not corroded, it's not rusty or anything like that, but I think you'll either need to get closer, Julius, and start touching and unbuckling it, and definitely it does have a cloak on, as you can see, and you're going to have to start moving a bit because now you're actually stood on it.
Can you tell if there's been any battle scars on it, like if it's been struck?
Well, at the moment, all you can really see is that you can see the back of the helmet, you can see the sword, the cloak, and the shield. And that's, you almost see the back of everything. So until it's actually moved or turned or something, then you will be able to tell.
With the aid of flat, I would like to roll a skit to see if I can repair it.
Okay, so hang on. Did you say you're going to roll it? You're going to roll the body. Okay, I need to know whether or not you two are lifting the side of the body up that's near you and flipping it over to Tenariel, or whether or not you're reaching over the other side of the body and flipping it the other way to you. Does that make sense?
Okay.
Before we do, I'd like to take the sword away from the body.
Well, okay.
And then put it behind.
Okay, so as you reach down to the gauntlet hand is grasping the sword extremely tightly. It's not as if it's loose in the hand or anything. So you find that when you bend over and try to, so you put both hands on the cross part of the sword, and then you on the hilt part, and you try to pull it, and the whole hand. So that I know, don't say anything, please. And the whole hand comes with it. You know, it's not as if it looks as if it's still got a very tight grip on the sword.
Just lift the whole gauntlet arm up and drop it.
Can we ask
Can
Tenariel
I go around the other side of it? So as they like lift it, you're not going to lift it towards you, are you? So lift it from your the shoulder that's closest to you away. Push that away from you, are you? You're gonna.
It's a pushing roll.
Do
not a
you know
pulling
like
roll.
if you would check for a grenade under a body?
Julius, Bazooka, and Tenariel, can you just make perception rolls, please?
Damn it!
24.
Wow. You like the 14 on the other one. Who got 0? Bazooka, sorry. Bazooka's the other one I need. Or double false. Julius and Tenariel, you can see, and you can actually see with your light, that there seems to be another figure exactly the same here. And you should be able to, I've just checked that with your light, and I think you can see that quite clearly.
I can see there's something there, yeah.
Yeah?
It's very, very faint. I'll point that out. I'll say there's another figure.
And I think, yes, exactly, whoever's pinging, yes, Rocketeer, yeah. And I think, Julius, you can see that as well. And it seems to be exactly the same as this one, in exactly the same position. Bazooka, you can't hear anything down the corridor that you're facing.
I can't hear nothing, right?
You can't see anything either with double falls.
Can I see anything down that corridor?
No, the only reason, no, you can't see or hear anything either.
Okay.
His, just so you know, his light goes slightly further. So
fine.
yeah,
Gotcha.
I think Ervol's, yours goes to
I can see to here.
here. Yeah, can you see the two pings? So Bazooka can actually see to there.
Okay.
So that's why he had the roll. So guys, are you going to flip this body?
We should
Yeah.
just tie it up and move on. There may be other threats that we need to discover first before we waste time investigating this.
Can Tenariel come to our side and we'll flip it like this?
Sorry, I'm not watching the. Let's do it again.
So grab the far side and pull it towards.
Oh yeah, that's
Yeah,
absolutely fine.
But we need to ask Tenariel to come to our side.
Oh, I see.
Because if there's something that splashed over there,
So you want Tenariel over behind you guys. Yeah. Okay, so
Well,
you.
Tenariel, I was going to say, if there was something underneath, like Tenariel will be able to say, okay, there's something there, and then you can just put the body back down.
Just as it
if
goes,
explodes.
just as it pulls it up, and Tenariel says, "No, it's fine." Someone goes, "Rah!" like that.
An alien out of its
Yeah.
chest.
Okay, so Rurik, you're going to have to put your axe down, and Julius, you're going to
Yeah.
have to sheathe your sword, and you could probably pull it over with your with your shield arm as well. And you bend down and you gently roll this this body over. The first thing that you know, without any shadow of a doubt, is that there's actually something in the armor, and it's quite solid in there. It's not rattling or anything. It almost like has the substance, the weight of a human. The other thing that you notice is that as you roll it over, Julius, unfortunately, you are not going to be able to use this armor, because it's not going to fit, because it's actually a woman, and you can see that the armor is molded over her chest, and it goes in at the waist, and the legs.
Should be about my size.
The legs. How tall are you?
5 foot something.
She's approaching 6 foot in total height.
5 foot 4.
Yeah, well, you would be able to fit in and rattle around, and it's all.
Could I use my smitten skill to see if I could work it to the size of Denaria?
Take a long.
You can't do it in the dungeon if that's what you.
No, but if I take it back to town, can I fix it to fit?
Well, the thing is, you can probably do it to fit anyone, but what you would need to do is take it off this body and then take off all the parts, including the chain underneath, because of course that's an integral part of it, and then carry it back with you. And then do some work on it.
To be honest, I would be inclined, if we're going to do anything with it, to take it back to the Temple of the Order.
Just out of interest, her helmet is still on.
Quick question.
Go for it. Oh no, I hope it's not hard. Is it like general knowledge?
Hold on. No, it's not hard. You guys that are up there, can you see down here?
No.
No, they can't.
The walls goes all the way to the ceiling.
Yeah, they can't via the dynamic lighting, but they can, so to speak, because they're just sort of like up at their head height. They're sort of like way above your head height, Bazooka. So if there's anything,
I was just thinking, if there was something coming like down it, they'd be able to see them.
They would
height advantage.
Yeah, they would see it as it passes here.
Right. Well, in that case, then I'm going around the
I will
corner
be
a
able to
little
jump
bit.
down to it.
Can I make a medicine to see if that person is dead?
Make a medicine check for what, Si?
To see if the person is dead.
Well,
The one in the armor.
yeah, medicine rolls is used to stabilize characters, and at the present moment in time, there's no actual flesh showing at all.
Okay.
So you could, if you wish, remove the helmet.
I would like to remove the helmet to see if there's a pulse.
Okay.
Before he does,
Hang on, guys. I hate to tell you this, but you can't all occupy the same spot. You're going to.
Well, I've come into the
Right.
doorway here.
So you're actually passing into that. So
Yeah.
you two guys are
You
like.
sprung at the.
Okay then.
Sprung I tried.
So you're actually in this room now. So you can actually see, Bazooka, that there's one there.
Yep.
There's also one there.
Yes, sir.
And
that
there's
one.
also one there. This part, Bazooka, here is a semicircular gully. And
okay.
it looks like it's actually totally smooth like the rest of it, but there's nothing in it as far as you can see from where you are. The other thing is you can see 2 pillars, and these go from the ground right the way up to the top, and you can see that there's a dais that sort of like steps up to some kind of raised platform in the middle. Rurik, can you just make a perception check when you take off the a dexterity check when you take off the helmet, please?
I'm going to take my sword out while he does that.
And Ereval, can you make a perception roll, please? How far can you see along that corridor?
Let's see, the edge of my vision is there.
There, yeah, okay then. Okay, you take the helmet off. The helmet seems to be well and truly adjusted onto this body. You actually take the helmet off, and blonde hair cascades down from it. And it seems to be totally intact, this hair. And it just sort of like falls down away from. And there seems to be a woman in there. And she seems to be... incredibly beautiful for humans. Obviously, you're sort of thinking, not enough hair.
Not enough hair.
Not enough hair for you. She seems to be extremely pretty and beautiful. She seems to have perfect skin, and her eyes are closed. Her mouth is closed. And Julius, when you look at her, she almost like has a feeling of she's at rest.
Can I see the shape of her ears? Are they like elfin?
No, she's human. She's human.
Absolutely human. Okay.
Can I roll a medicine to see if she's alive?
You don't. Medicine's used for stabilizing characters, but anybody can tell that she's dead. She's just not. She's not decayed.
Are these the same? Are they like face down the same?
They are currently face down exactly the same. Yeah.
I'm sorry, Julius. You found the perfect girl, but she's dead.
Who was what killed her? I'll call that up to another thing.
Yeah. Can I use a medicine to see if she got wounds or?
Well, no, you would use a perception or an investigation check for that. Medicine is just used for stabilizing characters when they're down at 0 hit points. But as far as you both, Julius and Rurik, you're closest. So if you both make investigation checks, and I'll tell you what you can find out on her. Okay, so we'll say that Julius, you're doing the bottom half, and Clout, Rurik, you're doing the top. Just to let you know, there seems to be no dents in the armor. There seems to be no cuts or piercing or blood or anything. If anything, and the most unusual thing is somebody got a cough. All I can hear is coughing through my headphones.
No,
that's on mine. I'm sorry.
All right. I thought somebody was dying.
My daughter.
I am sorry.
She's in front of us, dead.
Not
dying.
The weird thing is, both to Julius and to Rurik, when you look at her, her skin looks alive.
Yeah.
It's not. It's almost as if.
Rosy cheeks.
Well,
she's not been
blood
deadly.
flow.
No, well, I tell you what it looks like, and this is the best description I can give to you. Imagine that all of a sudden she had just fallen down, almost like fallen to sleep.
She's still warm.
And that's how she is. Well, Rorik's obviously checked her over, and she does have. She's not warm. She is cold. She doesn't have a pulse. She is dead, but she's not decayed in any way or form.
So it's like she's literally just died within the last hour or so.
No. I think she died like a full age, but the place sustained her wellness of her body, but not her mind.
Erval, you can hear from down this corridor what appears to sound like just like that. Just what
footsteps?
Yeah.
That wasn't me this time.
No, just sort of like footsteps, as if somebody is walking, sort of like not towards you. It's as if somebody's walking somewhere beyond here, And because of the marble and everything, it seems to be echoing. And it's quite purposeful. And it's quite sort of like duh, 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 duh. And then it stops for a while. And then it goes duh, 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 the other way round. And then it goes duh, 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 duh. And then...
Someone on guard.
So like a guy.
Yeah, Tenariel. It's almost as if they're pacing. But what you do hear, Ervol, you haven't heard it before. And as you sort of like your keen elven ears sort of like tune into it, you suddenly hear it slowly disappear, as if it's walking away and has gone out of your earshot again.
Okay.
So
and knock and arrow. I've already got my bow out.
Yeah.
We've got somebody behind us. I'm hearing footsteps down this hall. We need to find out what's going on the other direction.
Okay.
I'll ready my bow. I'll come and stand next to Arvel.
I'll go behind Rurik. If anyone comes up here, I can jump down on top of them. If they do come down.
How high is the ceiling where I am?
It's a sort of like normal ceiling height. What you can't, you probably get bazooka on your shoulders if that's what you want to do.
No.
Maybe later.
It's quite elevated, just so you know, because hang on. Okay. Bazooka's off adventuring. So you can now see Bazooka up here. There's a set of stairs. You can also see that there's another body further around. Yeah?
Mm-hmm.
And I think you've already seen the one on the dais there.
Oh yeah, I seen that when I came through.
Yeah.
I'm gonna inform them that that there's more bodies in here.
Okay. Who was it that heard Tamil or Errol? The footsteps.
Ervol.
Errol. Go to Errol here. How far away was the footsteps that you heard?
Sorry, I just got a notice from roll 20 saying my server got disconnected. What did you ask?
I can tell you. Are you back on, Ervol, or not?
Yeah.
Yeah, he just said, whereabouts did you hear the footsteps from?
Down this hallway. It seemed to approach and then fade away.
So, from... Can you see me pinging, Julius?
Yeah.
Yeah.
The lower level that we haven't in.
So I don't, Julius and Rurik and Bazooka, I don't mind you doing that and then going back. So I'm quite, because you just won't be able to see it down there because there's a dynamic lighting here. Yeah. So you couldn't see the body straight away once you came on. So I'm quite happy for you to do that.
Mm-hmm. Which way shall we go now? Shall we go into the big part or down the hallway there?
I'm not leaving a potential threat at our backs.
This person on the floor is a holy person. Could you give her the last rite?
Yeah. So I go round the other side and do my prayers over the body to Lady Anisha to accept the unrested soul of this person.
Just as you finish just as you finish the last prayer, all of a sudden she goes, no, she doesn't, but I just thought it would be really good. I wish I'd thought about that.
Welcome back.
That would have been superb. That would have been superb if I could have done that. Yeah. Okay. I could have done it, but
now you know.
Now you know.
After my
Bazooka,
comment about not leaving anything in my back, I stepped down off the dais and slowly started stalking down this hallway, looking to see if I can find this one.
Yeah, Bazooka.
Too far.
Yeah, cool. I can see. Sorry, Bazooka. That there seems to be metallic, by the way.
Okay.
The copper
The ring.
Yeah.
cold gold.
Bazooka like shiny things.
Yeah. You said this is empty. There's nothing in it.
No, not from where you can see. I mean, if you probably can get a bit closer to it, but it's. I just wanted you to know it's sort of like a trough, and it seems to be very smooth. It's almost like it's been dug out, but it. I mean, it could once have contained water or blood or alcohol.
How deep is it?
How deep is your love? How deep? About this, can you see that?
So I can like walk through it.
You can slide down there, yeah.
Oh, so it is pretty deep then.
You could just sort of like a woo like that, or walk across it. You know, you can't.
Right.
It's a bit of a jump if you want to jump it.
No, I'm gonna head round.
Ervol, every time you move, like so when you move to there, if you do move
that's
to
not
there,
gonna happen.
yeah. But every time you do move, if you want to get close to this part there, then anybody who's doing that, if you roll, whoever's in the lead, if you roll a perception check every time you move forward, so I can give you more information if you need it.
No, I wanted to move up to here, so I have that side chamber somewhere I can move out of
Yeah.
the way if something comes at us.
Oh, yeah,
So
I
move
see.
As far as I wanted to move out.
Yeah, to this one here, do it. Yeah,
Yes.
yeah, got you.
So if I see anything down there, I'll point my arrow at it. But if it's something that rushes at us, I'm going to sidestep out of the way.
I want to. Sorry.
I like not shout, but like just so Bazooka can hear us. It's like Bazooka, we're going near this way down the corridor, and I jump. I don't know where Ervil is. But I jump in front of her. So
Him?
like
Him?
him.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Yeah. Yeah, that's fine.
in front of
You can sort of like lower yourself down off the platform, and that's absolutely fine.
Yeah, just to get like, right, you're not going in on lead. It's like, this is my position right here.
Dude,
Oh, sorry, wrong soundtrack.
Like bloody Joker. So you come into my lair. That's Cthulhu.
I asked Bazooka if he do you have something metallic that could make noise?
Do you have something
Sword?
metal? Yeah, he's got his sickle and everything.
Because if we advance in one direction, I still have my grappling hook. We could make a rope to signal if someone is behind us.
Like a tripwire.
Yeah.
Okay.
Like a alarm if someone come at us from behind.
Like something metallic against the wall with a rope attached to it.
Well,
across.
I would take the grappling hook and my light hammer and make a tripwire and put metallic stuff to cling.
Okay. That'd be a good idea.
What? So going across? Wait. Going across these here.
Yeah.
Okay. Right. So in that case, then I'm going to come back through. As I will explore that in a bit then. So where are we heading? Down here.
Hang on, so Rurik, what you're doing, sorry?
I'm taking my light hammer
Yeah.
and put it in here. And taking my grappling hook, put here and attach a rope to my light hammer with
Are you just placing
There-
your light hammer on the floor then?
yeah.
Okay.
There is a better position. If you place it here, because there's going to be that corpse. If you're going to set a trip wire here, then there's that corpse still there. If that corpse moves by some inexplicable magical reason, it will already be past your trip wire as we move past.
I'll grab the with my grappling hook. I'll attach it to the side of the door. And I'll put my-
that's what I'm going to challenge you about, because this place is made out of marble, which
There's
is
nowhere to attach it.
that you would literally have to hack away at the marble. And as we know, marble's one of the strongest stones
I
you
would
have.
just leave it this from the ground.
Yeah,
because the
I think
grappling
what
hook
his
won't.
plan is that the grappling hook will stand on its top. He will attach it to the hammer with the metal hammer part facing up, and then
So
put
it's
a-
just-
Oh, right, I
a
see.
rope between
So,
them.
okay then. So whereabouts do you want to put this? If you just
do you see my ruler?
no,
Like
well,
this?
if do you not have the drawing tool?
Oh,
Do you not have the?
Yeah, the paint thing under the arrow at the top.
I would like to put it there.
Here would be even better if you can see.
I still
Well-
say we tie up that corpse to eliminate any concern that we have over it reanimating.
Do you have a rope?
I have a rope in my pack.
There's
Okay,
4 more in there. Well, that I can
But
see. There's 4 more in that
it's
room.
one would if we tie one up that makes instead of 5, 4. Take one down at least.
Or we put it
Especially the
back to
closest
back
one.
and
If it
tie
tries to
them
get up,
all
tie it up.
All
Just
together.
here.
Let's get them all together. and tie 'em.
It's going to take too long to try and drag them all together. I don't want to be down here any longer than we have to.
Yeah, because they're wearing full plate. It's gonna be hard.
So whereabouts are you putting this grappling hook hammer? Is this your throwing hammer that you're talking about, Rurik?
Yeah.
Yeah. Whereabouts are you put? Is that where it's going with the brown line?
I will discuss with the team because I don't know if we're going to the right side or the top one.
Okay. And Araval, are you tying up the body with your rope, or are you giving that rope to somebody to tie it on up? Or
What
not?
would be, there used to be a used rope skill. What would be a check to determine how well I can tie it on?
I'm quite happy for you to tie it up, and then we'll just use a combination of strength and agility. What I think would be the easiest thing to do is roll your strength, roll your agility, and then I've got an indication of how strong it is. You know, because that will allow you to tie the knot, but also how hard you can actually tie it. So if you just roll both of those, then I'll know.
A strength and a dex.
Yeah, so that gives me, so I know that it's sort of like 17 tight and 14 well done. That's cool.
Okay.
It looks pretty, she looks pretty well in bondage now, so I tied up, you
That
know.
made the situation so much worse.
Do you
than that.
Did you take your armor off? Did you?
Just the helmet.
This is the Temple of Sisters, is it not? Or something?
Sunnell.
Sunnell,
Sunnell.
yeah, Sunnell, yeah.
Oh.
So where,
Which is run. Her clerics are sisters.
Rurik, I'm just,
Yeah, it's the sister.
Rurik, I've just removed that line for you, so you can put it somewhere else.
So would it be safe to assume that these are...
Guardians of this temple.
Yeah.
Well, the sister, maybe.
Yeah, the sister.
Whatever they were.
Right,
originally, we have
I'm gonna
no
go-
idea if
I'm gonna
it's
go
corrupted and
over-
done to this.
I'm going to go over to this one and check. I'm going to pull its tin pot off.
So you need-
now split.
you need to move where you're going, Bazooka,
Right.
because I didn't see the ping. Okay, so you're up here now, so you can see this exit here.
Yeah.
Okay, which appears to be exactly the same as before. You yank this helmet off. You suddenly remember that you do have to there's a bit of resistance on it. You thought, no, and then you said, oh yes, of course, and you undo the chin strap and pull it off. And it seems to be a lovely brunette, long hair, just as beautiful as for human standards, of course. You prefer them a little bit shorter. Exactly the same as the first woman that you find. The only difference with this one is that you notice that just on the side of her neck here, there seems to be some kind of gash or cut. It's not bleeding or anything. It's quite open though. It looks like some kind of wound that has happened. And you can probably see this one as well now.
Yeah.
And this one is face up and feet towards you and head away from you. So if I just, it's almost like that way round.
That way. Okay.
And this one here that you can see now is actually sat up on this dais.
Right. Okay. I'm gonna run round to that one. So I'm gonna go round this way.
Ooh. If these things get up,
Okay,
then plate mail.
Yeah. Well.
So this one here is still face down. Yeah. So hang on, just as you go up these steps, when you pass this point here,
The floor collapses.
No, you sort of like as you pass that sort of like metal bit, there's almost like a. Where are you going? Where you
he's doing his own thing. It's like I'm trying to get in like in between.
It's
like when we notice that he's not with us, it's like, where the hell is he?
Okay then. So what we'll do, Erval, can you just move back to where you were?
We're back on the corpse.
Yeah, excellent. Because you're just tying it up. So therefore, at this point, Julius, you suddenly realise that he's not there. So once this has happened, then you can start moving. So Bazooka, as you cross over this point here, there's this almost like rushing of water sound, and from underneath here and underneath here, water gushes out, and all of a sudden it just gushes and gushes and gushes and gushes, and it seems to be filling up the trough, and it sort of like rushes around. And guys, Erval, well, all of you make your perception rolls.
All of us.
Yeah, not you, Bazooka, sorry, everybody else.
Okay.
Rulrick won't hear it. He never does. He'll get a 0. Okay, so guys, everybody out here, you can suddenly hear this rushing of water. And Erval, you can see, I think you can see it in your, this here. There seems to be water gushing round it, and it seems to rush past it. And you can hear a bit of a like that as it probably meets here, and then it keeps rushing and rushing and rushing until all of a sudden, Bazooka, you notice that it fills up the trough,
right,
and then it just stops. And now, Erval, you can see that this is now crystal clear water. Okay, Julius, if anybody would like to react to this, now is the time to do it.
Kind of, I realise that Bazooka isn't with us.
And hearing that
water,
and plus that it looks like he's just had a giant wee somewhere. That
yeah. I kind of look for bushes to go, but I kind of like rush back. It's like, what the hell are you doing? Kind of thing. It's like, what did you touch? What did you touch?
Okay, so Poulton Ariel suddenly finds herself alone in the car.
Hey guys.
Am I done with the rope yet?
Yeah. That you're done with the rope. That body is quite tied up. So anybody who can see this trough now can see that it's actually filled with what appears to be some perfectly clear water. It's actually almost like giving. You can see this, Julius. It's actually almost like reflecting the trough with the blue marble, the turquoise marble, and you can see. I think you can probably see Bazooka just, up here. It's sort of like stood. It sort of goes I didn't do that. It wasn't me.
Zuka, what did you
It
do?
wasn't me.
Wasn't me.
Get back here before you trigger anything else.
Yeah. It's like, get over here, you.
And you take this place one step at a time.
I tell them that this one could be alive because it's sat up. Or
Yeah,
it could be injured.
Julius, you can see that this body here is actually sat up with its back to the actual dais there.
Okay.
As it's sort of like slumped like this. It's still got
Yeah.
its shield and sword, and you can see anything else that is apparent in the room that your light.
I
will allow
also
to-
tell them that I think these are the sister guardian, whatever they are supposed to be.
I put the tripwire. Yeah.
Yeah, I can see it. Yeah, cool. Okay, are we happy with it there? Yeah.
Was this all on the side of it?
So this is
Yeah, as long as we're all on one side of it.
Yeah,
Or at
you
least
We're just
Yeah.
going
know-
to ignore
know
the
where it
sound
is
from
to
the
stay.
other direction. Then.
Yeah, so the only reason I ask is that I've just moved it to the map layer, so now you won't accidentally click it and move it. It's sort of like there. You can move it, but it's just so for the ease of playing for the rest of the time. You're not going to keep moving it and moving it somewhere else. Okay,
Am I good to move?
it's completely up to you,
Right.
but just
Okay,
just
so
do
I'm
it
gonna-
just do it slowly.
Where's the edge of the water?
The edge of the water. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. So
That way,
the water
that
goes
blue
from
bit,
here to here. Yeah. So all that, and it actually goes underneath those stairs there, and that looks like it's where the water gushed out of, and went right the way around and sort of like filled up the whole trough.
I would like to take some of the water and put it on the fungi on my neck.
Yeah. So you're going to take. I presume you're wearing leather gauntlets or something like that.
No, my armor is at the entrance.
Oh, so you've actually taken it off. Okay, cool. So you sort
I
of
kind of stop him
okay.
and just go, it's like, this is not ours to take just yet. We need to ask maybe for permission of the goddess or the gods that presides over this place.
You have the power to talk to dead people?
Well, the god of so it's like if I say what I want to do, I'll probably go to the center and then try pray to not my god, but who was it? Sunnell to please don't bring vengeance on us. In fact, I'll do it. I'll roleplay it.
Sorry, are you moving then?
Yeah, I kind of want to, as I attend to this. If we think this is the water of life, I'll go to the center and ask for permission to acquire this for the innocent people that we're trying to save. So
I'm going to
you,
this body.
yeah, we might want to stick together while I do this. I'll move around and then move up.
Okay,
and,
so
see if anyone.
So actually, just while you're moving round, that's when Bazooka, who's already moved forward, reaches the body.
Okay.
So what do you want to do with this body, Bazooka?
I'm gonna call out. Say, are you okay? Just in case it is alive. Are you alive? Are you hurt?
It's just literally got its head forward. It's making.
I wanna take its tin pot off.
Okay, so as you sort of like feel around, you out undo its strap and you take its helmet off, and there's almost like this of smell and decay as you take the helmet off, and what's sort of like left underneath is this sort of like dried out husk of what can only be classed as a human. It might have been female. It might have been male. Well, he's got female armor on, but it might have been human. It might not have been human. All the skin is almost like brown and stretched tight, as if all the moisture's been absorbed from it. And while the other one down here, the one at Tenariel's feet, and this one here that you took the helmet off before, looked very peaceful and at rest. This one, where it's obviously got really wide eyes, the eyes are no longer there. It's just this huge sort of like empty socket, and the mouth is sort of like wide and open, and if some kind of primeval scream, as it almost like cried out in its throes of death. And the smell now is hitting Rurik and Ervol, and it's definitely, number one, dead. Number two, it's probably been dead for a very long time, and it's almost like desiccated like coconut. It's dried out, it's a husk, and it's obviously died in very extreme pain.
Do I recognize it like from the husk that we've seen with the spiders, with the spider?
It has no roll a perception, roll an investigation check for me, or perception. Okay, listen, this is important. Do you just want to look?
Yeah, I don't want to touch it.
Okay, then roll a perception check then.
Perception.
You need to make a save against nausea.
There appears to be, from the head point of view, there appears to be no wounds on it at all at the present moment.
No
in time.
mushrooms or anything.
No. Okay, Julius, you can move.
Okay, I kind of because he's already up there. I kind of move to the center as well, and I take my sword out, put it point down, and kind of in praying stance on one knee. It's like what's his name?
just before you start, Tenari,
Yeah.
can you make a perception roll, please, because you're at the rear of the party, and then Julius, go for it.
My lord of all that is in the healing bounty, we are here for penitence of the sick and innocent within this world. There is a plague amongst us that we would like to heal and lift from each of the denizens of the populace, and stop a mighty evil in its tracks. With your permission, we would like to have a gift from you of the holy waters that you provide to heal such of these people. And I kind of say that as if not really expecting an answer, but as I stay there for a few moments.
Yeah, your words, as you say, your words are sort of like echo around this circular room. It sort of like breaks the silence that has obviously been here for hundreds or thousands of years, decades and centuries, and the only sound that returns is just the slight swoosh of the water. And Tenariel, you hear Julius's sounds, his voice, and almost like nod approvingly of his, his religiousness, his righteousness, his holiness. And as his words cease, the sound is replaced by something else, because
Get off my land.
you hear. I'm just going to move you, Tenariel. I'll move you back. Don't worry.
Uh-huh.
You can hear from here that there is the sound of footsteps, and the footsteps seem to be more purposeful.
Yeah.
And beforehand, when it was a lot sort of like da 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 da, now it seems to be da 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 da. Where's yours? 12. Yeah. There might be one. There might be more than one. It's not a horde. It's not like 500. You figure it might be something between 1 and 5. Okay.
I'm going to back to this door quietly. If Rurik is still there, I'll prod him and tell him, I'll whisper, something's coming. Tell the others.
Winter is coming. Winter is coming.
See that? And I'm left alone again.
Okay.
I'm off.
Right. Just
you
hang on.
have arms.
Just hang on. Rurik, just go back to where you were, and Tenari will just go. Tenari, just go. You would. Yeah, that's absolutely perfect. That's because something happens when you get to there. You suddenly notice that the head of what seems to be an armored figure, and it's walking down the corridor. It doesn't have a helmet on. It's actually carrying. Let me just tell you what it's carrying. It's actually carrying a short sword at its side, and it's drawn, and it's purposefully walking down, and its head is all almost like dried up and very much similar to the one, although you haven't seen it on the dais, very much in that description, and it seems to be purposefully marching its way along this corridor, and just behind it, just coming through the doorway, you can see another one. Also, it's almost as if they know where they're going, and they're going there purposefully.
Yeah.
Okay, guys. Hang on. I need to have some initiatives from you all.
And I start saying now, only the penitent man will pass. Only the penitent man will pass. Oh, shit. Yeah, I forgot the click on myself.
Did you not click on yourself? Oh, no. Hang on. I'll add it. I can add it.
Thank you.
There you go. You can add
Am
it.
I hidden for the beginning of the battle?
Say again, sorry?
I made a stealth check as I was approaching those stairs, trying to sneak.
Yeah, that's fine. Right, let me just do that. Okay, guys. These are going first. Okay, then. So they actually march very purposefully. 30 foot. And you see them, Tenariel, sorry, at the end of the round, end of their turn. They've got to there.
And there's definitely only the two that I can see.
That you can see at the present moment in time. Yeah. Okay. Rurik, you are up.
I would like to, because we're in the dark room and the only light we have is my axe.
Well, they've got dark vision as well.
Yeah, but they could see my axe. And
Yeah, they can. They should all be able to see. They can see. Everybody can see you. Yeah, you're like a beacon.
I'm waving my axe like this. I'm saying, "Hey guys, we got a problem," and pointing at the door.
Okay, cool.
Okay.
Ereval, you're up.
I heard Rourke. I probably didn't hear Rourke because he's on the other side, right?
No, you can hear it, and well, the thing is, you would actually notice, because if you look, you can see his light. So as he starts to wave it around, you actually will notice the change in light. So that would have attracted your attention. So you can actually see it lighting. So you will have heard him. Yeah.
Okay.
The whole of the dungeon probably heard him. So it's all right.
I'm going to stay hidden for now. Originally, my course was to try and see if there was anything up the stairs here, being as quiet and stealthy as I could. I'm going to try and remain in the shadows, be aware if something hostile does come out, I will attack it. Though.
Okay. I just noticed then that your token moved slightly. So is that where you're stood now?
Yes, I was peeking around the stairs.
Okay, so the other thing the only reason I asked is that I need to tell you that this corridor does not stop there.
Mm-hmm.
It carries on.
Okay,
to the end of your vision. And there seems to be no entrance, but also notice this corridor is exactly what it is. It's double the width than the one that you were in previously. Okay, Bazooka, what would you like to do?
I'm gonna ready my crossbow.
Okay.
And aim it down. Well, this direction. Can you see the map?
Yeah.
Yeah. So I'm gonna aim down that direction.
Cool. That's can you just make a Constitution check for me, Bazooka, please? Tenariel, you're up.
I had my bow out with an arrow knocked already, but I'm not going to use it. I'm going to back off to about here.
Constitution.
Yeah, cool. And
Constitution saves is up above your.
Yeah,
I got it.
That's it. Oh, 23, nice. Yeah, so you sort of like move away from the body that slightly, with the sudden movement, slightly tips over and sort of like goes down on the ground as you turn around and ready your light crossbow. And Julius, you almost like see a slight change in the air, very slightly. As if I tell you what, you'll be familiar with this because you've been hammering in stakes. Like a bit like a heat haze.
Heat haze, yeah. Like
that in the air. Just as the body sort of like flipped over, there's a slight heat haze. It's only about that, and you just notice for a second, then it goes. Okay, and Julius, you are up.
Do I hear the footsteps coming as well?
Well, you know something's coming because you've heard Rurik shout his warning.
Yeah. So I kind of move towards it. 30.
How high is this ledge here, or where
it's just like a stepping off thing.
So I can easily step up on it.
Oh yeah, there's no movement or anything like that. You'll just sort of like step on and off it, and then that's it.
Okay,
Julius could probably dash, or
no, I don't have that ability.
No, you can take an action up.
Yeah. So what does that allow me to do?
So it allows you
move double your speed.
Double your speed, yeah.
So I can do another 30.
Yeah, so and that will be your actual dash. So instead of fighting, you take a dash axe. Increases your speed after modifiers. So you will be able to do up to 60 from where you were. So you can add another 30 on.
That allows me to get up to.
Yeah.
Basically, you're running.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay then.
Cool.
So now it's 18 again. So the first thing I'm going to do, just so you know, I'm going to roll a dex check for this first night. If you see anything coming up that says skeleton, I've just put it up as skeleton, but think about it as an undead version of these knights.
Mm-hmm.
That's probably a more realistic version of it. So this skeleton's going to make a dex saving throw. just to see whether or not it trips over the wire, the rope that is there, because it's not normally there, and it's not something that it's sort of like expecting to see. And it fails, so it actually is now prone. That one is actually prone on the ground, but the wire is no longer there. It's the stuff is there, but it's no longer a hazard for them. So that one sort of like falls down onto the ground. This one carries on and comes through the entrance. It's sort of like the first thing it actually does is scours around, and it's got no eyes. It's got no eyes at all. It comes in. It's still got half its movement, so it comes in. It scours around, almost like looking for targets. Julius, your dash action was a very good idea because you're actually the closest to it, and so.
Can I get my ready action?
Well, so I didn't hear your ready action.
I said if anything hostile came through where we came from, I was.
Oh, sorry. I thought you meant up here. Yeah, go for it. Yeah, that hits.
Then being stealth.
Sorry. Can I please remind you that there's no light down here, no candlelight or anything like that. So there's
dark vision doesn't carry to it.
Yeah, but can you also remember what we agreed last time? So you won't have if Rurik's light ever goes out, you will be in complete darkness. And can you remember the rule that we agreed on beforehand? That if Rurik's light goes out, then it'd be complete darkness. So you'll still be able to see, but you'll be at disadvantage on your rolls because there'll be no natural light. Your dark vision is still working, but it's amplifying Rurik's light at the moment. So your Julius, as you see this this creature come through, you notice that an arrow sails out from Erevol's bow, and it comes straight through. It hits the armor, and it just sort of like sticks into it. But the beast just the knight just continuously. It doesn't even flinch. It just continues to move towards you. Right. Yeah. Let's have a hit roll. So 18 a miss you. Yeah. Okay then. So, and this guy here, this one will get up now, the next round. So, Rurik, you are up.
This is like a corridor. There's no space to go around Julius and the monster.
You can go into the water. You
But
have
the water is deep, or
well, it's about
it's about here for me. About
yeah.
this.
2 foot.
Yeah, it's about 2 foot deep right the way around, you know, and the sides go straight down. As I described it to Bazooka last time, you would slide down it. You wouldn't be able to go, oh, let's just like slowly go into it. You would slide down it.
Well, do I know the god of undead on these lands?
You can make a religion roll by all means, but probably
I will go there.
probably after combat, since rather than
Yeah.
Can I make a dash?
you can use your thing up for a dash, yeah, by all means. So that'd be your whole action gone.
Are you going to get in my way?
I'm gonna go there.
Excellent. Okay.
He's lower down than you, though.
Okay.
You're 2 levels higher than him.
Yeah, Ervol.
You can use my shoulder to jump across.
Ervol, you are up.
Does light blocking my vision past him?
Say again, sorry.
Because when Rurik moved, the light source changed where I can't see anything past right here.
You can still see him. because can you see him with your dark vision? Yeah, you can still see him with your dark vision because Rurik's light is amplifying your dark vision. So
Right.
that's allowing your dark vision to work. So if Rurik's light goes out, there's no actual light to amplify anymore. And then,
Right, no, I
so-
understand that. I just can't see anything past his light.
No, you
or bubble.
you should be able to have your own vision. So I
Because I'm using my axe, so my axe is in front of me.
Yeah,
and
so-
you're seeing my back.
Yeah, so you can see the skeleton, you can see the knight, sorry, and you can see Julius Ervol. When I click on you,
Can I see the other one out down here?
no,
I
you
can just barely make him out.
no, you
Right.
you can see you know that he's there, so you can barely see him. But if you want to fire at him, then that'll be absolutely fine. But he's going to have +4 to his armor class because of this.
Cover.
Because basically,
No.
you need to.
I'm thinking of actually just stepping up and delaying my action until they get close because I can use my horse. If I wait to see if that other one comes up over here.
Yeah, so you can move there, then ready your action. That's absolutely fine. No worries at all.
Yeah. It may fail, but yeah, ready action to fire on both of them if
Yeah.
they get within range. of each
Yeah,
other.
cool. Okay, Bazooka, you're up.
I want to. Can I get a clear shot on this one?
Yeah, so what's going to happen now is that if you're ever firing in anything like that, then I put a bonus if something's within 5 foot of you. So if Julius, for example, was going to fire his bow at his skeleton in front of him, then he would have disadvantage. If anybody's
He didn't
firing,
mean
if anybody is, say again, sorry.
Oh, you did. I saw a flat look when you said Julius. You weren't talking about Julius firing.
No, he was saying if I had
Just
a
as an
Yeah,
example.
yeah.
example.
Yeah. Apart from that, if you're firing at anything else that's either in combat or has any chance of cover like that, you don't get disadvantage anymore. What happens is that the monster gets a positive to its armor class, and then I will just arbitrarily think, right, it's this, this, and this. Because the interesting thing is, I think Roll20 is really interesting because we look at Julius and the knight in front of him, and we think that they're just literally stood next to each other, sort of like fighting. But really and truly, that combat,
I'd be moving.
exactly, it's
It's
moving
a
all,
square.
yeah. And there's moving all the way. So I might say if you fire into combat, then you might get +2 or +4. If you were firing something like Bazooka and Bruce fighting each other, then I'll probably say, no, you don't get that because there's enough of Bruce to actually hit. So if you want to fire down there, you're quite welcome to fire it down there. But he's going to have, well, he's actually going to have something like +4 to his armor class because Rurik's in the way. He's halfway in that thing, plus he's lower down because he's fallen down the ground. But that won't affect your roll. You would just roll normally, and I'll just adjust his armor class to it. The only thing that I will say, guys, just so you know, if you're firing missile weapons into combat and you miss, I'm not going to say that you hit the other person unless you fumble your roll. And if you fumble your roll, that's an automatic hit on the other person. You know, and that'll be it. And I'll play it by ear then and see what happens.
Okay, can I delay my action until he gets up and I got...
You can ready your action. Yeah, that's absolutely fine. Yeah. Okay, Tenariel, it's up to you.
Can I see this guy that hasn't come through the doors yet?
Let's have a look.
Is he shootable from where
Yeah,
I
so
am?
he's going to have a +2 to his armor class for you to get through that because you're firing literally through that gap. Aren't you? It'd be a good shot if you actually get it through there.
Well, I'll give it a go.
Yeah, cool.
Never mind.
It was a good attempt, but you just sort of like ping it into here. You draw your arrow back, you adjust your bow slightly, and sort of like try to arch it round like that film. Is it Taken when she can fire when she can fire around corners?
Wanted, yeah.
Is it Wanted?
Wanted,
And
yeah.
she and you try to do that, but unfortunately it shoots straight off and it just hits the wall there, and this all like hits down. But it looked good. It looked good, Tenariel. That's the important thing.
And after he misses, I'm so sorry.
Yeah. I've always wanted to do that thing with the car. You know, when she drives off,
handbrakes it,
and then opens the door and just whacks them in. I actually like watching that in slow motion, just to see it happening. Okay,
I'll be back in a second.
Yeah, cool. Okay then, Julius, you're up.
I'm gonna hold my divine smite because this will be like perfect enemy to do it on. I'm gonna hold it and just give him a good old smacking.
Okay, so you're just hitting your longsword with your longsword, yeah.
Yes.
Cool. Yeah. So you swipe at him, and your sword actually goes. It sort of like tries to parry it with its shield, but its shield is so sort of like rusty. You just sort of like go straight through it, and you feel your sword dig through the plate mail into its bony arm. It needs some damage.
Sweet. 7.
Sorry.
So that I can't use, from that is like, maybe I can't use these shields for myself.
Yeah, it goes straight. Oh, this shield is not like the other shields. This is all sort of like battered and bruised. You actually feel your sword go through the shield. It goes through the armor. You actually feel it grate along the sort of like the ulna, or the forearm of his bone, and sort of like slice off, but it just seems to be cutting through dry skin at the present moment in time.
One of these things is not like the others.
Okay, so this one takes its action to stand up, and then it does. This is its next action. It stands up and it looks around at the end of its action. So its main action was actually getting up from prone. And then it moves, and its second action is to look around. Just so you know, Tenariel, it definitely has chosen you as the target.
Damn it.
Because you're the next one in line, and it will move next time. Erevar, you've got your ready action to come off.
Do I not get mine?
But I can't. It does not actually go off.
Say again, sorry?
My ready action does not go off because they are still 15 feet apart.
All right.
And my horde breaker is dependent on the 5 foot.
Okay, cool. Yeah, so Bazooka, yours does go off. So so I know what my armor class will be.
Okay. So I'm gonna let rip.
Yeah, so you fire your crossbow, Rurik. You suddenly hear this. It just sort of like whiz past your naked body with your underclothes on, and it comes through, and that does her 20 does hit non-natural. Wow.
That wasn't natural. That was 18.
Yeah, non-natural. I said. Yeah.
Oh, sorry.
And how many do you do? 3.
3.
Okay, so it goes. Your little crossbow bolt fires this little bolt, and it goes flying towards it, and it just sort of like does this. It goes. Like this, it just sort of like clips this knight's armor and lands on the floor. You think it did penetrate, but it's not a huge amount of. You don't think it did much damage at all. Okay, Rurik, you are up.
I would like want to see if I'm range. Yeah, I would like to drop my axe and then burning eye.
Yeah, cool.
They need to do a reflex.
What is it? Is it a dex? Can you just pop it in the chat so I can see it? 15-foot cone. Yeah, so I presume you're in range. I presume you checked that.
It's 13 for the DC. Whoops, sorry. It's not.
Yeah, what level? Are you doing 6?
No, I misroll. I'm supposed to roll 3d6.
Yeah, 3d6s. And then, are you doing it at, what level are you doing at?
Level 1.
Level 1. So mine is a dex throw, isn't it? 6, yeah. So that he fails his thing. So what was it? 15. Yeah, cool.
15. Yeah.
So you sort of like put your thumbs together and stretch out your hands, and all of you see this almighty burst of cone of fire go straight towards the. I presume 6 is too low for your spell casting, by the way. What is your spell casting saving throw?
Yeah, 13.
13. So you sort of like that, and this it sort of like starts to almost like cook this knight from inside as its armor heats up. You notice that any scraps of material that's on it suddenly bursts into fire, and he sort of like screams this hideous noise that sort of like comes out of its mouth as it sort of like heads off, and it just sort of like throws itself into the water, and there's this sort of like this sound, and it sort of like comes up to the top, and it's just sort of like floating on the top of the water.
I actually thought that was Inwill's actually doing that scream because he had his mouth open. Like.
I'm multi-talented. Look, I'm.
Oh my god, did you see his hand talk?
That wasn't my hand. Okay, Aravol, you are. Oh, so I did this one in for all intents and purposes is I'm floating upside down. Yeah. Okay, Aravol, you're up.
Does it look good and truly deceased and non-mobile as now?
It looks dead. Yeah.
Alrighty. So we will go back to the first one. Knock another arrow and let fly.
Yeah. Cool. Which misses.
Big Red X give it away.
Okay. So your arrow goes shooting off. It just hits the wall here. And Julius, you suddenly see an arrow hit towards the back, and you think it's right on target for this knight. But as it faints, you sort of like go to hit it. It faints a shot round from one side, and it misses. It hits the wall here, and you sort of like think, firing arrows at me, nice. But you,
Stop getting in the way, Tin Man.
but you trust Aravol's aim because he's normally very good. Tenariel probably less so. Or, just say. Bazooka, you are up.
Okay, I'm gonna move forward a bit to the edge.
Yeah.
And I'm gonna fire another bolt.
Cool.
Okay.
Yeah, that you Bazooka, Julius, you see a bolt fly off from the side from Bazooka's from Bazooka's position. It comes flying past, so you just see it just knocks the chin of this knight. And you notice this a little bit of. Are you wearing a helmet, Julius?
Yes.
Is it like full face one?
Am I? Ooh.
If you're wearing chainmail, it's usually
it's almost like a cough, isn't it? Yeah.
Come with a helmet?
No, chainmail normally comes with like a cough, like a hood. So you're sort of like you raise your hand back, ready to take your next attack, and this bolt sort of like comes out, just clips this knight's chin, and you go like that to attack. You just notice a bit of the flesh just goes in your mouth. You go.
It's like in the middle. You want to see me? It's like downing some. Don't do that.
Julius
downing some liquids.
Julius goes around and just like sinks his head. He's sort of like, stuff the blessing now. My head's going in that holy water.
The palate.
It's a bit like when you're driving along and walking along, and all of a sudden you get that fly in your mouth. A bit like that. Yeah. Okay. Tenariel.
Protein.
Right, I shall shoot at the other one in front of Julius.
Oh,
with my
yes.
bow.
41 foot away. Go for it.
And miss again.
Yeah, so Julius, you sort of like a bit of thing comes through you, and just so you go, oh, like that, you notice an arrow comes straight past the head of the knight, and you go straight past you as well, and sort of like bashes into the wall there. Okay.
Bloody hell, I'm going to be a porcupine in a bit.
Okay, Tin Man, off you go.
I'm also going to give another good swing at the guy to my front.
Front and centre.
13.
13 hits it.
Oh, nice.
You tend to have no problem hitting. It's the damage that you tend to have a bit of.
Yeah, I'm low damage, but dependable. I am dependable. I'll always be there.
Yeah.
It's not the tank's job to deal damage.
And so
Exactly.
you sort of like get a bit of flesh and you miss that arrow and you just bring your sword down and you sort of like hack it straight on the collarbone and it goes through the armor. You feel it actually hit the clavicle and you sort of like slide it out and you feel it just go like that as you pull it out, and it sort of like lets out a hideous moan and then prepares to fight you back as we go on to the next combat round. 22,
Yes.
I think,
he
hits
does hit
you.
me.
Yes. So you take 6 points of damage as the sword. So you hit it back, you pull it back, and it just rams its sword, sort of like upwards, and you feel it penetrate through your chain and actually clip. So sort of like your side of your stomach, you know where your lats are, you know, that bit that you never work on, it just slides in there, and you feel the
Deep
cold
penetration.
You feel the cold steel sort of enter you. And could you just make a constitution check for me, please?
Damn.
It's
Yes,
rusty,
I
isn't it?
can.
13, thank you. Okay, I'll explain later, but I'm just going to put that little dot on you.
You got rust.
Okay?
Unclean.
Okay, you notice that he goes like that, and his short sword looks unbelievably clean. You know, with a bit of your blood on it now. Rurik, you are up.
They're wearing the same armor from the other ones.
They're wearing plate mail, yeah.
When I investigate the other body, did I see strap and how the armor was rolled up?
You're not going to be able to use Mage Hand to undo the armor when it's in combat.
Okay.
Mainly because if you think about it, they're all moving around, and the chances are you'll suddenly undo a buckle, but it's moved at the last moment, and suddenly Julius's pants might fall
Trousers
down.
fall.
Yeah. And
Can I pick up my axe and move, or it's all my turn?
yeah.
Can I
So
drop it down?
yeah. So you can have one action that is combined with your movement, and then another action. So you can pick up what you literally do is combining your movement with an action. So you're picking up just like Bazooka gets 2 attacks with 2, that's his 2 actions. So you can start to move, you can pick up your axe as you go, and then wherever you want to go, you'll still have your action ready to go.
And moving through the water is an action too? Or?
Moving through the water it'll be difficult terrain, so it'll be double your movement, and then getting in is not a problem, but
Getting out.
but it'll be an action to get out. So
What's the depth of the water with his height? Is it just like
2 foot?
snorkel?
it's 2 foot deep, yeah.
Oh, okay.
I would like to pick up my axe,
Yeah.
and I would like to go in the water and go there and strike at his feet with
Yeah.
my axe.
Okay then, cool. Go for it. Just how tall are you?
5 feet.
Okay, cool.
Ooh, nice.
Okay, so you swing your axe, and it's just sort of like coming level with his legs. It makes contact down there. Roll your damage. Let's see how much damage.
Feel the glow.
Whoops. It's an error again.
I could. Oh, so just roll what you would normally do. Was it a D? There must be something wrong on you.
Do I need to roll again because it's a crit? Or
Yeah, if it's a crit, then you need to roll. So what is it? A 1d10, isn't it? Plus your strength. That would be what it is. Yeah, so just roll it twice.
so it's 18.
Isn't the strength bonus only added once? It's just the dice, the rolled dice.
Oh, right. Yeah.
So it's
I
15.
think.
So 15. Cool. Thank
Yeah.
you. So you take an almighty swing at this knight, and your axe sort of like hits the bone. Can you just make a dexterity saving throw for me, please?
It's not water, it's acid.
And you hit it, and once you hit it, you suddenly feel that because of the abrupt stop in momentum, you just feel that your body goes like that, and you sort of like keel over into the water.
Float
Sort of like, so you just go like that, and because the sides are so slippery, you just go like that. Just make a Constitution check for me, please.
Okay.
That's Rurik, sorry, just Rurik, not you,
Rurik.
Julius. Julius, you're not even dead.
No, you said Julius at first, and then
No,
I
sorry.
went for it.
Oh, wow.
Okay, you sort of like take in a whole load of water as you suddenly go underwater, and then just roll a dexterity saving throws, DC 10. That first one, by the way, was 15. That's why you failed it.
So
DC
it's drowning
10.
now?
Yeah, so you actually keep hold of your axe, but you actually manage to, when we get round to the next round, you'll make a dexterity saving throw unless somebody pulls you out to sort of like get you back on your feet. So guys, anybody who's watching Rurik, you saw him swing his axe, he hit it, and then you just saw him go under, carrying the axe with him. So he's still got hold of his axe, but you've just seen him disappear underneath the water. Tenariel, we're going to have pretty soon the wet dwarf t-shirt competition. So I would just like to give you prior warning, okay? Because remember, luckily he doesn't have his armor on, because he took it off at the beginning. So
Just his tighty whities.
All the ink on his spell books just run.
He's
yeah.
I can shoot him.
The skeleton in front of you, Julius, sort of like, it's just, you notice that one of its legs is actually totally and utterly decapitated, I was going severed off, and it just sort of like crumbles to the ground. Erevol, you are up.
Really, the dwarf on his back of his tighty whities says, "Sexy dwarves have beards."
Yeah.
So he's underwater right now?
Yeah, you've just seen him in the last sort of like second disappear under the water. You can still see him because it's quite clear.
Did he move anywhere? Or is he still in the same spot?
He's just literally
water, right?
he's just literally gone whoa, underneath the water. The water's not moving, so he's not going to get carried away or anything like that. But the trouble is the trough is very slippery, so it's getting the footing that is the issue.
So that put the other knight down, right?
Yeah, both the knights are now deaded.
So I take it there was only two because
There
No
was
other indication
that we
of
know.
threats unless you want me to make a perception check. I'm going to go and retrieve arrows from
The
Never
dwarf.
mind the dwarf.
The dwarf is going, oh, like that, and everyone's going, right, I'll have that
Underwater.
one.
All you gotta do is stand up, put your feet down.
Bazooka runs and does a swan dive into the water.
No blades, no bows.
Bazooka, what would you like to do?
Yeah, I'm gonna.
Please remember you do have armor on.
Yeah, I'm not going in.
Yeah, yeah,
The water's going to come up to my neck.
exactly.
I'm just going to run down this way and around and aid Julius in helping Rurik out. And then afterwards, I'm going to reclaim my one arrow
Bolt.
Yeah. Thing. Yeah.
Tenariel, is there anything that you would like to do?
Stop at this doorway and make sure there's nothing else
Yeah, okay then.
coming, and then attempt to recover my arrows.
Okay, so there's nothing else down that corridor at all. Julius, what would you like to do?
I'm gonna grab the dwarf.
Yeah.
Just grab the nape of his like shirt and just drag him back up so he can.
Okay,
regain
so
his footing.
you place your sword down on the edge of the trough, and you sort of like push your gauntleted hand into the water, and you grab what you think is the scruff of his shirt, and you give it a mighty yank. And as you yank it up, he just sort of like surfaces, screaming like anything, as you sort of like pull him up by his beard. And you know,
but the rest of his hair is like almost like someone coming like a golden goddess coming out of the water.
Yeah, and this is probably not how Aphrodite was born from the water. Just so you know.
I'm bald, but that's happened with my beard.
Yeah, so it's just, the beard's still intact, but he's sort of like he's very wet. He's just sort of like bedraggled dog. Probably it is a good indication of what he actually looks like at the present moment in time. Okay, guys.
Once he's dragged out of the water, I'm going to ask him if he's learned anything from that experience.
Yeah.
Swimming lessons, maybe.
Ouch.
Remind me at some point to tell you the tale of the wolf pack I had to fight off in the middle of a running river.
Yeah. So
I must do like Julius. I must hit, but not strike hard enough.
okay.
Or you lose your
Just like,
balance.
get off me.
Yeah. So, guys, if you fired any arrows, if you've only fired one, then you've lost it. If you fired an even number, then you retrieve half of it. If you fired an odd number, then you retrieve half of the even number below it. So if you fired 3, you will retrieve 1 from it. Okay, guys, that seems to be an appropriate time to take our first break of the evening. So if you're watching the stream, then thank you very much for keeping an eye on it. We are going to go and have a quick break now. So please, while we're away, don't forget that you can actually vote for one of the characters to have a point of inspiration. It is in your hands. I've put the information of the stream there. So Julius is 1, Bazooka is 2, Tenario is 3, Aravol is 4, and Rurik is 5. You just need to type in ! vote and then that option. And the marks will be counted up at the end, and the award of 1 point of inspiration will be given. Okay, we're going to take a 10-minute break. We'll be back at 10:13 exactly. So please do not go away. We will be back shortly, and hopefully you will join us again for part 2 of the Fungal Plague. Have fun, guys.